know what time it is.
How it all works.
Come on.
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 I see y'all putting shared in there. Come on, share the joint. Tag some folks. Join us on YouTube. Let's get it going. I see you out there, Monty. I see you, Albert. Ended choir rehearsal early. Welcome, Lawrence. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Come on.
Yeah. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Yes, shared. Hashtag shared. I see y'all, man. This is so cool. Welcome to another episode of Convos and Collabs right here on How It All Works. I'm your host, Kirk Nugent, and I teach small businesses, entrepreneurs, and faith-based entities how to simplify video mechanics, live video mechanics, to shine a floodlight on their brand. And today's episode, our guest is none other than Rob Balasabas. Yo, we have some stuff for y'all. I'm not even gonna give you no hints. I mean, honestly, if you have been thinking about ways to monetize, if you have been thinking about meaningful ways to come up with topics for your videos, come up with topics for your live streams, topics that really, itch where people are scratching, this is the conversation for you. You're in the right place. You are in the right place. All right. So let me take a look at my comments real quick here. Yes. I see y'all out there, man. This is great. Man, let me see who was the first comment. Let me see who was the first comment. It was Austin Humphreys, man. Austin Humphreys. First comment of the night. He says, "Let's go." In fact, he says, "I'm excited about this one." That is what's up. Listen, guys, man. This is, so y'all know, this is the series that we're in, is Convos and Collabs, how it all works, Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time. So we're excited to have you guys today. And today's episode, we have none other than Rob Balasabas. And this is the quote that he gave me. I was so happy to share this with folks today because I feel like it's so relevant for what you're doing in these spaces. Don't just look to gain subscribers, but instead look to build a community. If you resonate with that, let us know in the chat. Come on, talk about it. Put your hand up, give it a thumbs up. Let us know if you resonate with that statement. It's not just about subscribers. It's not just about followers. It's not about numbers. Every one of those numbers is a person who is coming to you for a specific thing. You got to look to build community. Look to build community. I see Rob is in the chat. That's what's up. Look to build community. Listen, I want to make sure you guys know that every round goes higher, as they say in church circles. Every round goes higher, and look who we got next week. Good friend DJ Strick from right here in good old Alabama. He's in Birmingham, and I love this quote from DJ. He says, "If it was easy, everybody would be doing it," and I could not agree with that more. Like that. I did a session today earlier where we were talking about Bishop Donald Oliver's on the live, Sydney Freeman is on the live, man. Miguel Lloyd says great quote. Yeah, but man, listen, I'm excited about DJ coming through next week, and then we're gonna take a break that first week of April. We're gonna take a break, and then we'll come back to you on the 12th of April with none other than Mrs. Ecam herself. Katie Fox is going to be with us. I'm so excited about having her on the show. Planning your production and creating workflows can save you time and help you build a better broadcast. We're going to make some of these flyers available to you guys. So we want to make sure you guys share those and make sure that we are able to drum up some more numbers for these broadcasts, man. We're excited to be able to bring this kind of content to you. Just as we get ready to dive in, I want to make sure you guys are aware of what's scrolling on the bottom of the screen right now, right? What is scrolling on the bottom of the screen right now is saying join our mailing list. And so you're seeing the How It All Works webpage here on the screen right now, howitallworks.com. Our mailing list, you can sign up at signup.howitallworks.com. We're also, and to be clear, I want to say this, we got some stuff coming down the pike. Things that we're going to be giving to our audience strictly through our mailing list. So for those who are watching with us live, for those who are going to catch this replay, we want to make sure that you are aware and that you sign up for that mailing list. And then this is, of course, exclusively for those who are watching live today and for those who are already supporters on buymeacoffee.com. If you want to jump into a quick half-hour Q&A session with me and Rob right after today's show, make your way over to buymeacoffee.com/KirkRNugent. It's on the screen right now. And then just see where it says here, HIW live Q&A session. Just go ahead and grab your ticket right there. You'll get the Zoom link and you'll be able to jump in with us, get on screen, ask some quick questions, because it's going to be something today. Now, without any further ado, my guest is in the green room. He's ready to go. So we're going to get this intro video and then we are going to get to it. Let's go. Mr. Rob Balasabas.
Hey, Kirk. Good to be here, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much for being here. I know it's a busy day for you, man. I know you're literally just getting out of another meeting, and I'm so excited that we're able to get you in here. Folks, we want to take a second. Let me see who here. DJ Strick on the come up. Awesome. Oh yeah, man. Listen, we had to get DJ Strick in here. A couple of folks are just shouting out Katie. Yep. Hey, Rob, yep. Looking forward to this. David Hunt says that. Folks are talking to one another in the chat, talking about Miguel Lloyd. Great quote. Miguel is saying. So listen, folks, we want to give Rob a how it all works, an HIAW welcome. Let him know in the chat that we're excited that he is here, excited to have him on this platform. So go ahead and do that. And if you are catching the replay, you want to make sure that you leave that comment in the chat as well. As most of you already know, if you're followers of this channel, I respond to every comment. And I think Rob's going to say something about that a little later as we talk about some of the things around TubeBuddy. Yes. David Hunt says, whoop, whoop. Yeah, we're excited. We are excited to have you here today. So Rob, man, listen, as we do with everybody, man, the first question, it's really not a question. It's more of a get to know you kind of thing. There may be some people who have been under a rock. They don't know who you are or what TubeBuddy is, but just talk to us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and your relationship to live streaming, live video strategy, and just content creation in general.
Sure. Yeah, Kurt. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Good to see everyone here. Yeah. So my name is Rob Balasabas. I'm the partnership manager here at TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is a YouTube tool. It's been around for about 7 years, and there's over 6 million channels that have installed TubeBuddy and using it. So that's what I do. I manage our affiliate program, our influencer relations, things like that. And then I'm also a creator behind the scenes. So I have my own YouTube channel. I love social media. Previous life, I was a social media manager and a community manager for another tech company called Thinkific. That was my previous role for TubeBuddy. Yeah. So I'm all about community. I've experienced firsthand just how powerful community is. With business and brands and just life in general.
Right.
In general, yeah. So I think community is very powerful, and I think everybody needs to be in some form of community, So I'm pumped to be here, Kirk. Thanks, man.
Listen, this is one overdue, man. I'm excited to have you.
Yeah. I know we get to hang on different clubhouse rooms and things like that. So I'm glad to be here. When it comes to live streaming, really quick, just so you guys have some context, I've been live streaming, I would say, for about 3 years. Started when I was at Thinkific. We were doing live streams directly on the Facebook app with guests. It was like a whole mess, but that was like my first taste into live streaming, and then we got into different tools, Ecamm and things like that. And now I host a show on the TubeBuddy channel called Creators Corner.
Nice.
And also I do live streaming on my own YouTube channel, and I just love it, man. I love live streaming. I think it's definitely the future. It definitely caught fire last year, and I think it's just going to continue being used in big ways.
That's so good. I want to mention this here, that one of the key questions that DJ Strick and I are going to talk about. Oh, mercy. I hit the wrong scene. One of the key questions that DJ Strick and I are going to talk about next week is, what is the future of live streaming? Right? That's going to be huge. What is the future? Where do we see this going? A lot of folks are like, well, when things open back up, is live streaming still going to be a thing? Folks, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. So that is so cool. And you know what's also wild, Rob, is that a couple weeks back, this is during Black History Month, we had one of our weeks we focused on online courses, and we had a couple of guys on who have really been using platforms like Thinkific and Kajabi to really push in those spaces. And so we had a whole conversation around that. So I had no idea you had that in your background. That's amazing, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That you used to work at Thinkific. That is amazing. So man, I'm looking at you guys in the chat. I'm hoping that you guys are going to continue to engage with us around some of the things that we are touching on here today. Rob, man, you ready for question 2?
Let's go. Let's do it.
So of course, you've got the hat on, right? We've got the website right underneath your name. Some folks are kind of like, what in the world is TubeBuddy? Like what? I'm new to this space. What can TubeBuddy do for me? So talk to us a little bit about TubeBuddy and why it's such a great partner platform for content creators. Of course, in the YouTube space.
In the YouTube space, yeah. So TubeBuddy it's a software. It's not owned by YouTube. A lot of people think it's owned by YouTube, but it's a separate private company. And there's a mobile app. There's a browser plugin like for your Chrome and things like that. It's an extension, and there's also an actual website and basically that you can log into. There's over 80 different tools inside of TubeBuddy, and they're all to help the YouTube creator. And so from all things such as, managing your comments and also A/B testing different thumbnails. Thumbnails.
Right.
Coming up with, topic ideas and doing keyword explorer, research. Figuring out what topics you should be talking about and which you shouldn't, and based on your channel and your content. So there's a lot of tools inside of TubeBuddy, and it's all really just to help YouTube creators, make life easier for them, basically.
Yeah. I love it. The A/B testing of thumbnails is a really great piece to be able to do. But keyword searches, being able to really find what people are searching for, those are all huge pieces as well. James Hicks, what's good, man? David Hunt, I see you. He said David says the glasses came off. It's about to be on.
Been wearing it all day.
Listen, it's no longer a game here. It's a serious business, man. Rick says I can't live without Rob. I mean TubeBuddy. He said that he clarified. He said TubeBuddy.
Yeah. It slipped out though, man. I got it.
There we go. Rob got me tightening up my channel right now. Listen, it's a real thing. And this is so, in these conversations, we try to keep it lighthearted. We definitely want to provide value, but I mean, listen to what I want to say. I have nothing in terms of being paid by TubeBuddy, but I have been using the platform for maybe 5-6 months now and have found it to be really helpful. There's a lot of resources on the site. I was one of those who was kind of like, so what do I do with it? I installed it, probably printed out a milestone and then just kind of forgot about it for a little bit, and then began to really kind of go through some of the content they have on their YouTube channel to walk you through the beginner phases. I think again, one of what DJ Strick's quote from the flyer that we showed earlier, in terms of if it was easy, everybody would do it. I think that really resonates here because, listen, it's if you treat content creation, if you treat YouTube, if you treat live streaming like your 9 to 5, it will produce like it's your 9 to 5. If you don't, it's not just going to happen. If you think that folks are out here just making money on a whim, like I just threw up a video and I made some money, not quite. There's some technique that goes into it. There's some background work, some time and hours spent, investing in yourself and in your knowledge and how you can really level up on your channel. And that's one of the reasons why I was so excited to be able to bring Rob on the live here. Lem Drops is in the building. Where's the teleprompter?
It's right here. Yeah, no. So Lem recommended this teleprompter, and I've got the screen. I just haven't got it all set up, but he's got the screen that he recommended to me.
Maybe
it's here.
Maybe that's our collab video. Maybe we need to work on setting up this teleprompter. That'd be awesome. Listen, let's divert for just a second from our normal questions. I see Austin Humphreys has a question here. I want to throw that in because we do have a lot of faith-based folks who follow my channel. Do faith-based organizations / churches find value in TubeBuddy? And I think that's I want to take a stab at that as well, but I want you to touch it first.
All right.
Oh, you want me to?
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah. If you want me to, what I was going to say.
Go for it.
What I was going to say, Austin, is it really depends, in my opinion, right? I'm not the expert here in terms of being a TubeBuddy person, but I think it's all going to depend on how intentional that faith-based organization or church is around their topics, around growing on in that space. I think a lot of us, and I say us because I'm in this space as well. I'm a media director for a church here in Huntsville, and I think a lot of us are not really intentional about how we engage in the YouTube space, right? So we put out our church services, but we don't necessarily put out specific content that's answering a question. We're not concerned about our thumbnails. We're not concerned about search engine optimization. We're not looking to see what questions people are asking. So when a pastor or a bishop, I see you out there, Bishop Donald Oliver, or even Lem Drops, I see you out there, Pastor. So when a pastor picks their topic, do they pick it around something they know sites or people are actually searching for? And that's really the thing. So if they are intentional about being in that space, I think TubeBuddy, and I don't know if this is actually limited, if any content creator, church or not, is intentional about YouTube, then a partner platform like TubeBuddy is going to be phenomenal. So, okay, now that I've said all that, Rob, what do you want to add
really
there?
Good. No, that's really good. That's really good. I think, so with like our church here, they've really like taken, like they've really got a grasp on videos and YouTube and social since lockdown started last year. Obviously there's no in-person services, gatherings and things like that, and so they really leverage live streaming and all that kind of stuff. So when I talk to anybody that's in that's a pastor or in a position with ministry, a lot of people will like, hey, this is the Sunday and then March 22nd service, right? So it's like nobody's searching that, right?
No.
And so, if you want to get your message out, then really understand the platform and understand YouTube. So people are not searching specific church names. Maybe they are. Maybe they're looking specifically for like Hillsong or whatever. But
Right.
But people are searching pain points, right? And so take a look at what your message is. So maybe your message that week was, just a certain pain point. Maybe it is, isolation or loneliness
depression.
or whatever.
Yeah,
With depression,
absolutely.
right? Depression or so temptations, like whatever that is, like then really craft your video to answer that pain point. They don't really care, like, they'll figure it out. Like there's a lot of churches that are doing it really well where their videos are titled and the thumbnail, it is, for lack of a better way of saying it, they're really taking a more secular approach to that.
Yes,
to that content.
I love that.
So then basically they are attracting people that are looking for like, hey man, what's the answer to this? Like, hey, you don't want to come in and say like, it's God, it's Jesus. Like people are like, oh no, back off first. Like you got to back off. Like I'm not there yet, right? So you just got to meet them where they are. So it's like, hey, I'm really, I feel super lonely, depressed, I can't see anybody, so like, I've tried these things and it's all very hollow and I've hit dead ends, like I can't find joy. So then maybe your message is like, we know the punchline, we know the message you want to get at, but you got to meet them there first. So the title, the thumbnail, all those things need to address that pain point. And then they'll get to it and they'll hear your message, they'll get to know you, and then hopefully then they'll receive that.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Like if you're a church, if you're a ministry, look at the way that the platform works, and then don't just upload your service or live stream it. Look at what other businesses and brands are doing. Yeah, repurpose it, cut it up into shorts, repurpose it into TikTok and all those things, and really get your message out there. So that's what I would suggest.
Man, that's good, man. That is good. Well, let me take this one comment here. This is from Lem Drops. He said the guns are showing, man. He's like, are you working out, bro? You're looking good, man.
That's so funny. My wife yesterday, we were out and she's like, you look like you're drinking protein shakes, but all you're eating are burgers. She's like, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
So funny, man.
Listen,
so
we
funny.
got another question here, and listen,
All right.
I'm okay with diverting, man. So, but I do want to get to. There's only one question in particular that I really want to get to, but I want to take some time here, right as we get started. So Sydney Freeman is asking, how are creatives measuring live stream impact as viewer numbers are starting to fluctuate or decrease? How are we measuring live stream impact as numbers start starting to fluctuate or decrease? And so while you're thinking through some, your response on that, I would say, Doc Freeman, that's not everybody's story, first of all. Right. So because I know several live stream platforms that live stream programs that their numbers are only increasing. Actually, they're seeing exponential growth. In fact, live stream makes up a larger percentage of all video content online today than it ever has in the past. I think the number was something ridiculous, like 900% growth over the course of the pandemic. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me, but it's something ridiculous in terms of, okay, live stream video is really where it's at now. Platforms like TubeBuddy are going to be how you come up with topics, and that's actually one of our questions that we want to get to. How do you come up with topics? And I know Rob, you're going to talk about topic selection. How do you come up with topics that are, and I definitely want to make sure you get to that. But I also want to just kind of leave that out there for Sydney, just to say that may or may not be everybody's story. And I think that when we're talking about decreasing numbers or fluctuating numbers, we need to now start looking at what are the other mitigating factors. What is causing that? So even for me, like, I had to look at my metrics after the live stream is done. At what point did people drop off? At what point did I see a huge downtick in viewer numbers? And then, of course, begin to start comparing that with other live streams at the same time, right, of similar content. So those are things that are going to really help to understand that the true answer to that question. Rob, I don't know if you wanted to touch it at all.
Yeah, no, it's good thoughts, Kirk. I would say, it depends on your goals with your channel. So if your goal is, as far as metrics, if your goal is to get more subscribers, then that's a metric you watch. If your goal is to get views and hours because you want to hit the partner program on YouTube, then that's the metric you watch. If your goal is to get leads and to sell products, to get signups for your courses and memberships, then that's the metric you watch. So, if it's courses, for example, maybe you're selling a course at $800 a pop, right? Then, doesn't matter whether you get 50 viewers or 500 viewers, you want to get maybe 5 signups, right? In the next 30 days. So, you could get a lot of views and, have a really low conversion number, or you could get a smaller amount of targeted views that has a really high, conversion. So, but the paths are different to whatever your goal is. So it really depends on what your goals are. If it is getting watch time and things like that, then you have to look at the format of your live stream. Like if people aren't watching, if people are only the highest number of views are happening during your live stream, and your goal is to get as much watch time as possible, and you're keeping that video public after the live stream, then you got to look at the video. You got to look at the video. Like maybe your introduction is too long. Maybe your countdown timer is too long. You need to
trim that off.
That after. Yeah. You need to turn that off. You just need to jump in straight into the content. Maybe you're bantering too much with your guest. It happens. I do that all the time.
It does.
So maybe you need to have a little bit more of a structured show. Like you got to hit the question, answer, next question, answer, go to the guest, come back to the guest, go to the audience. So you got to have a little bit more structure so that the replay viewer still finds value and doesn't feel alienated, watching the replay. They're not like, oh, this is odd. They're like talking too much amongst themselves, and I can't chat with them or anything, right?
Right.
So you have to look at all those different things, and again, it always just comes back to your goals. But in general, as the world opens up and people can travel and stuff like that, my thoughts are, I think brands, for example, have already realized that, hey, we can still reach so many people. There's still going to be a place for in-person meetups, gatherings, conferences and stuff like that. There's going to be a place for that. Like we're looking at those. We're looking at events for later this year, in-person events. But we're like, hey, but we could reach so many people if we just continue live streaming and continue, virtual summits and things like that. So the live stream is still gonna stick around for sure.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Folks, I want to put this question on the screen here. If you have a live show, please drop the name and link in the comments. If you have a live show, drop the name and link in the comments. We want to engage with you around your live shows as well. And while you're doing that, while you're dropping your name and link in the comments, we're gonna grab this other question for Rob. So
sure.
And this is of course, this is the topics question. This is one that he has prepared for. And again, to piggybacking on what you said in terms of how you structure your video, if your goal is to get more replay numbers, then you do need to be intentional about speaking to your replay audience, right? And so want to make sure that part is clear as well. And one of the reasons why I put the question on the screen is for the replay audience, so that there's always a visual kind of counter there saying, hey, this was what they were talking about at this time of the show. So Rob, talk to us about some proven techniques live streamers can use to select great topics. This is huge.
Topics,
yeah. This is huge.
Yeah, when it comes to topics for live streams versus uploaded content, like content that you record and then edit and then upload, we look at it the same way. Like, because if the live stream is going to live and be public even after the live stream is done, then you want it to show up in search. You want it to, get recommended and be suggested and all those things. And so that only happens if you're doing the same thing with your live stream as you are with your uploaded video. So when it comes to selecting topics, we still go through the same exercise of doing keyword research, using TubeBuddy, and then scheduling the live stream ahead of time so they can be found. The thumbnail. So I see a lot of streamers have a thumbnail when they've scheduled the stream ahead of time that has the date and time. So it'll be like, March 31st, Tuesday, 2 p.m. And then after the live stream is done, they don't change the thumbnail. And so now it's April and it still looks like it's March, right? So you want to, if you're doing that, that's your thing. Because you want to let people know when it is and all that, then make sure that after the live stream, you're changing that thumbnail to one that is more of a replay-centric one. So it doesn't have the date and time. Yeah. Maybe the conversation like this one, maybe it was like advertised as one thing, and then the topic kind of, shifted. So. The thumbnail, the text on the thumbnail might be different, so you may have to update your video. So optimize your video, your live stream replay for the replay viewer. So, I know it sounds so simple, but a lot of people just they do the live stream and then they're done. Like, all right,
they walk away.
Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one.
I've changed the full description, links, everything after the live is done. So there's several steps after I'm done with it. That's such good advice. That's great. And I see some of you guys are dropping the name of your live shows in the chat. I see you, Paul DeShield. I see you, Miguel Lloyd. Thank you so much for dropping that live. We want to see what your live shows are. And there's you never can tell on how it all works. What happens if you engage with us? So you better drop your name of your live show and the link in the chat so that we might be reaching out to you. You never can tell. So continue, Rob, on this question if you have more in terms of topic selection.
Comments. Comments is a really easy place to look at topics. Sometimes you miss something, or you just miss something, or people will add on like, hey, that was a really good thing, but how about this? Or, on my channel, I'll get really specific questions. Be like, how do I use, Ecamm with OBS using this camera? And this microphone, that's a really specific rig setup. But maybe I can cover one aspect of that, So look at the comments. That's another gold mine. Not necessarily that's the exact topic, but I didn't know you cared about that. I didn't know that was a pain point. So you take that and you again run it through Keyword Explorer. The other thing, Kirk, is just have a checklist, straight up, very simple checklist. Yeah, a lot of creators are just doing things on the fly, right? Like, oh man, I feel like, there's a really good topic. Like somebody asked me a question on social, send me a DM. All right, let me do a live stream real quick. I think that there's a place and time for that. I think that's good.
Yeah.
But you have to be, if you want to do this for the long run, long haul, then, you have to be strategic. You have to have a plan. You have to be consistent. You can't burn out. And so, have a place where you dump all your ideas, or else they just live in your head and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And so, so I use a Trello board. You can use other tools. Asana, Monday, ClickUp. So have one of those tools where you can just dump ideas that you can then come back to and then assess, okay, which topic ideas, is sort of the best opportunity for me, because I can only do 1 or 2 live streams this week. Which one's the best? So,
those types of having those surveys or whatever, putting those out there also are great forms of engagement, because you're letting the audience know that, hey, we're hearing you, and you're keeping that two-way street open. So that's really, really good advice. I hope you guys are catching what he's laying down here, man. This is good stuff. This is excellent stuff. Man, we're burning through our time here real quick. Let me make sure we're not missing anything in the comments. Corey and Lakita says, that's me. I've been walking away from our live stream without adjusting thumbnails. Okay, hey, listen, this is a safe space. You can confess what you've been doing here and not feel judged. So that's great. David Hunt says Stephanie Liu has a great tool as well that helps generate topics, which is really, I've checked out that tool. Thanks, David. Thanks, David. But man, and Paul is just putting his hands up. He's like, this is good. This is good. Awesome. This is good.
Thanks,
Thank you guys for engaging with us in the comments, and continue to let us know if you have any questions. And I've seen a couple of links. I've seen a couple of links for shows, but haven't seen as many as I'd like to. So if you've got a channel, if you got a live show, talk to us in the comments about what that is, so that we can definitely tie that into what we're doing here. Blind Guy, his wife, their life. They have a live show that is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That is so cool. My wife and I were on a week or so ago, and it was a lot of fun. Really great format. Just like you said a second ago, they definitely have a checklist. They've got a form that you fill out. It's very well organized, very well done. Here's our second question. Our second main question, I guess. Anyway, and it is, what are some ways to monetize a live show, even with a small audience? And this one here is, folks, get your pen and paper out. This one here is the one. This is the one.
Yeah. I love this question, Kirk. I think, I think, my role here is affiliate, like I manage our affiliate program. So that's one avenue. We talk about affiliates.
Yes.
I wholeheartedly really believe, and I'm very passionate about creators getting paid. Like I think creators, you put your heart and soul into content, you put yourself out there, you take a chance and all these things and all this risk. And a lot of creators will say, you know what, I do it because I want to serve. I would do this for free.
Wow.
All these things that people say. But at the same time, like I think that's sort of like a mindset where, you shouldn't be paid for it. I really believe, like, if you have the resource, if money is a tool, right? Money is not something that you're like, oh, I'm just doing this all for money. Money is and you look at money as a tool and a way to help you get your message, because it is a good message. It should be a good message. That you get your message out to more people, then that's a good thing for everybody, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and getting paid is not a bad thing, right? Like,
no.
If Google, because Google Ads and AdSense is paying you, Google is getting benefits, right?
They are.
They're getting benefits. If you're getting sponsored by a brand, to mention them, if you're an affiliate, all these things, those parties are getting a benefit. They're getting benefit from your content. And so, even as a small creator, small channel, small audience, you're up and coming, there's lots of ways. So there's affiliates, right? So you look around, what are the tools you're using? Ecamm has, fantastic affiliate program. All of these software tools have affiliate programs. So if you are a creator and you're building a community, you're earning trust. And that's the biggest thing as a content creator. That's the biggest thing that you have, is your trust with your audience. The moment that you break that trust, where you look like you're selling out, or like you're talking about a brand that's so out of left field, like, oh, you use that brand now? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
You're a Canon guy. Now you're talking all about like Nikon or whatever, you know.
It's got to work. It's got to stay within your,
It's got to make sense. It's got to make sense. And so that's affiliate. So look around, products.
Just a
Amazon,
FYI.
all those things.
Just a FYI to those who are listening, while he's going to continue, but I just wanted to give you that FYI. If you are going to purchase TubeBuddy, there is a link in the description of this video on YouTube.
There you go.
So,
yeah, appreciate that.
make sure you
Thanks,
click that link and support how it all works by clicking that link. If you're going to buy it anyway, you might as well click that link. If you got value here today, continue. So affiliate is the top on that list.
Affiliate is the top on that list. The second I would say is it's not the you know, sort of the dream, like, okay, automatic money, but services and consulting, right? Like services and consulting.
Talk about
it. So if you can get, you know, let's talk about services and consulting versus AdSense. Like if it takes so much to make, let's say $500 on AdSense, if you do the math, it's going to take thousands of views. Right.
Wow.
First of all, you have to be a YouTube partner first, which you know can take. It took me, I think, almost 2 years to reach YouTube partnership.
Yeah.
You know,
which is
subscribers
and 4,000 watch hours. Yes.
Exactly. So for 2 years, if I did nothing else, you basically do YouTube for free. Now, YouTube, you can do, if you compare that to consulting and services. Let's say, you know, you get a client, you know, low end, you say like, okay, well, for, you know, this, I'm going to do some freelancing, you know, for a client, and for 1 month, I'll charge them $1,000. Now you've made way more than what you would have made, you know, already with AdSense. So don't sleep on services and consulting. That's a good way, especially if you're creative or you're giving advice on something. I mean, you know, there's a lot of, you know, coaches, life coaches, different things.
Right.
And you can offer your time in exchange for money that way. So as consulting. So that's
you're giving them my entire playbook right here, because that's it. From day one, when I started, when I repurposed the channel last year and started to really push content for live video strategy, that was the thing. People would message and say, so glad that you showed us how to do that. I still don't want to do it. Can you just do it for me? Right? Is that a thing? Do you have a business where I could just pay you to do it? Because I've seen you do it. And I would say 90% of the business that I have coming in right now is because of sales and services and consulting. Services and consulting, you know.
Services and consulting.
People book an hour. They want to figure out how to connect, loop back to Ecamm, to Zoom, to Teams, to whatever. And it's like, yeah, no problem. Let's walk through it. You know, we jump in Zoom and we get it done. But this is you got to be mindful about all of those things. It's very important to be, you know, somebody told me really early, is like, YouTube saying that you are now monetized or you're part of the partner program does not mean that that's the only time that you can actually be making money. You can start making money immediately. So that is so good. That's so good.
Right away,
I don't know.
right
So
away.
you talked about sales and services and consulting, talked about affiliate programs and partnering in that way. Is there anything else? Talk to us.
Yeah, just really quickly on services consulting. So this is why we also talk about, you know, don't hold back when you're creating YouTube videos, like especially tutorial videos. Like, hey, how do I set up Ecamm, or how do I, you know, have multi-angles, you know, using Ecamm with 2 cameras, and, you know,
Right.
how do you do that? I don't know. So then, but if you do know, create the video. Don't hold back and say like, hey guys, I'm gonna show you really quick how to do this, but then at the end be like, well, if you really want to learn, you got to join my membership. Just give it all away, because what happens here, because again, this is what I've learned when I was, you know, during my years at Thinkific, people will learn how to do something and then they'll realize, man, it's a lot of work. And so maybe I can just pay somebody, because people have a value to their time, right? And so, yeah, okay, I can try to figure out Ecamm and I can do all these things. I can figure out YouTube and, you know, TubeBuddy and all these things, or I can hire somebody. And you know what? I was watching this person on YouTube really go and figure this out, and they really seem to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Built my trust, earned my trust. I'm going to reach out to them and see if they do this for people.
Right.
And so, you know, don't hold back what you know on YouTube. So that's
Give it away. No. We got to pause. We got to pause on that one, folks. Give it away. Give
all
it
away.
away.
Yeah.
Give it away.
Give it all away.
The way to solidify a process in your mind is to teach someone else how to do that process.
Totally.
And in the process of teaching them how to do that, you become 2 steps ahead of anybody else, right? And for every person that you teach how to do something, you stay 2 steps ahead of them. And let me be clear. I want to say this because I don't know if you're going to interject this, but I will say I have learned in some of those sessions, people will ask a question that leads me to think about the process I'm showing them in a different way. And I've come out of the session with another way of doing that same thing just because they've asked you a question. So there's just give it all away. Give it all away. It's one of the catchphrases we have here at How It All Works is let's figure it out together. It's a joint conversation. It's not just me and Rob on screen. It's all of you guys in the chat. It's everybody that's going to be commenting on the video in the replay. This is a joint conversation and we want to figure it all out together. So Rob, continue. I had to talk about that. It's so good.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, so going back to the services and consulting, a lot of people look down on it because it's not automatic money, right? If you compare it to affiliates, you're like, oh, I'll just make videos and then money just shows up in my email inbox, right? That's one way. But like of courses, right? Because for a lot of us, we do certain things and we do it really well, but we're not thinking even like, what is the process? I just know how to do keyword research. I know how to create a YouTube channel. I know how to set up a live stream. I know how to create overlays. But you don't really think about like, what are the step-by-step? But then if you are teaching somebody, then, you're doing consulting and then you slow down and you're like, okay, well, I have to like make this really complicated thing simple for this person that's going to pay me money. So when you're doing that, when you get an opportunity to do that as a coach or a consultant, then document what you're telling them because that then essentially builds your course.
Come on.
So,
I just have to laugh because this is textbook what I am doing, right? If you guys if I were to pick up my playbook that I have down here and show it to you, you would see literally what he's talking about right now. And we went over this for my HIAW family. You guys who were here with us in the month of February where we talked about online courses, we talked about having a YouTube channel or a podcast. We talked about, actually being an entrepreneur and being in these spaces in these ways. When you recognize what your intellectual assets are, intellectual property, right? If whatever process that you own, that you have perfected over years of work and doing it over again and fine tuning, that process is intellectual property. That process is an intellectual asset. You can sell that because somebody wants to skip all of the things that you had to do to get to that fine-tuned process. This is gold, guys. This is gold, man. If you have to simplify that thing, what he said was, if you have to simplify it for one of your clients to teach it to them, then you may as well document it because that becomes your course. Woo, that's good.
That's it. Yeah. So that becomes your course. And so essentially somebody paid you to create your course for you. So don't be like, okay, well, I'll just charge. So then now you build a course, right? So now you're building sort of your like offerings. So there's affiliates, which happens passively. There's AdSense, which happens on its own. And then now you're doing consulting, which is great. That's like good, like lump sum income. It's not repetitive, it's not, passive income, but it's good, it's a decent amount of income each month when you're starting out. Now, what happens with a lot of people is they feel like, okay, well, I'm kind of getting burnt out with consulting. I'm having the same conversations over and over again. Over again. Okay, fine. That's super fair, right? You're like, okay, well, I'm always teaching somebody how to create overlays on, Ecamm or like how to do keyword research. So then what you say is then, okay, cool, well, that's fine. I've actually created a course. So now you're like, okay, so you build a course, which is on demand. It's, you use Kajabi or Thinkific or Teachable or any of these. Yeah,
Kartra, whatever, right.
And so then you think about, okay, well, somebody comes and contacts you, they can choose. Like one of the people that has done this really well is Kelly Noble Mirabella. You guys probably know her if you're in. So Kelly has different, like depending on your budget, depending on what you're willing, your capacity to like be involved with, ManyChat and messenger marketing, you can work with Kelly in different ways. You can be like, okay, there's her free YouTube videos. Okay, there's if a little bit more money. I want it all in order. I don't want to have to figure out, stitching different playlists together and videos together. I can pay a little bit of money and buy her course. And so the course, I have to go through it myself and still do the thing myself. Okay, I have a little bit of money, less time. Okay, I'll just work directly with Kelly and ask her to coach me through it. And rather than going through
coaching is another level.
So coaching. And then okay, well, that's cool. I have a little bit more money, but and a lot less time because I have other responsibilities, or I just have no interest in running it, but I know it's worth it, has value. I need to figure this out for my business. I'll just hire Kelly to run it for me. And so now Kelly is in a position where she doesn't have to take on clients, right? Because she, maybe her course is doing well enough, her AdSense is doing well enough,
right.
Affiliates is doing well enough,
right?
And all these things. So she can be selective. You get into a position where you're selective with who you work with, right? And so okay, well, you got to apply to work with me,
Yeah.
I can work with 5 people this month, and
that's it.
That's it. So everybody else, you guys can take my course or join my membership. But so you got to build. It's just like a game, right? So you just got to build the things that sort of is the foundation for the next thing, and then that way people can maybe start out as just watching your YouTube videos, and then they kind of work up the ladder. And within X amount of months or years, they become a high ticket client for you, and they're one of 5 clients that you work with. So,
wow.
I mean, all of these is you can start this from day one with your YouTube channel, with your content. It doesn't have to be YouTube, but from day one, you can start doing this already. And so don't think that the only time I can make money is when I become a YouTube partnership program and AdSense. A lot of big creators, I mean, it's probably a significant amount of their income, but they're probably making way more money through other revenue streams outside of the AdSense side of things.
Yes.
They're selling courses, they have memberships, they have sponsorship deals. And so don't feel like that's like the top of the mountain. Like I got to get there, start looking at other avenues, buy me a coffee, Patreon, all of these things you can create right from day one.
Right. That is, man. I'm gonna pause here to see, what are, because I'm looking at some of the comments, and Austin Humphrey says there are levels to this thing. David Hunt has completely summed up the whole thing: affiliates, AdSense, consultations, courses, coaching. There are levels, and after coaching, there is just actually paying me to do it. Right, it's just paying me to do it, and that is gold, folks. I want to engage with the folks in the comments. If you have questions, this is the time. We got about 5 more minutes before we're gonna allow Rob to just kind of talk about where you can find him, follow him, what projects he's got going on. But this is the time to really just throw your questions in the chat. Let us know what types of things if it's resonating with you. Maybe he's made it clear already, but whatever that is, we want to give you guys a moment to just kind of ask him directly. And then for those who are, Lawrence Thompson says, I'm blown away, my notepad is filling up. But for those who are interested in joining us for a brief Q&A right after the live stream is done, then by all means make your way over to buymeacoffee.com /Kirk R. Nugent. It's on the screen. Grab the HIW live session Q&A. Just grab a gadget. It's for the cost of a gadget, right? And so grab one, and you'll be able to get that Zoom link and jump in with us. Let me see here. I'm just looking to see where are our comments, man. Who's gonna close us out with a really great question? But Rob, what I want to say here, even as people are preparing, is, man, this has been phenomenal. This is the answers you've given to some of these questions are going to absolutely help. And so even for the folks who are watching this live, go ahead and tag a friend, man. Tag a friend, share the video. I've seen Lem Drop say this a couple times. Hit the like button. That helps us out. Rob didn't talk about that, but listen, the metrics on YouTube are such that how many likes you have it has a positive effect on the algorithm. How many people have commented on your videos? It has positive effects on the algorithm. So we want to make sure that is there. I want to get these two questions here. One from Austin Humphreys. He says, Rob, is there such thing as oversaturating the market with content, or is consistency always best?
Yeah, I mean, consistency is definitely going to win. Oversaturating, I don't think so. There's so much content already. There's still new creators coming up, earning their place, at the table, I guess, so to speak, when it comes to YouTube. And it's just the person that's more consistent, more creative, really wins, and there's no one thing, there's no one thing on YouTube, okay, well, if I upload once a week, guaranteed. There's so many things. There's community, there's the content itself, there's creativity, and so you can't find that though unless you start creating content, right? And so as the more you create content, there's always, if you look at your own behavior, you're looking at, let's just say, if you're looking to learn about YouTube, you're probably following, Nick Nimmin, Roberto Blake, Daniel Batal, Daryl Eves. You're not just I'm only going to listen to Nick. I'm listening to multiple people. So multiple. And so the thing too is that if you feel don't ever feel like you're in competition with other people.
Yes, that's
people,
good.
There are a lot of big creators that, there's, if you let's get into the technicals. At the end of your video, you can send people to one of your videos, right? You do a tutorial on Ecamm, cool. Hey, go watch this other tutorial. I'm gonna teach you about overlays, or here I'm gonna teach you about scenes in my next video. So there's a lot of big creators that actually send their viewer to another channel that they're collaborating with, right? So hey, you know what? You watch this video, cool. Go watch Kirk's video, because he really talks about overlays really well. Right. Or Bradley or somebody.
That's good.
And so, because what happens there is that now you're sending a signal to YouTube that hey, my audience is also Kirk's audience.
Right.
So start sending them to each of us, right?
That's good.
Because YouTube's job is to get people to binge watch and watch as many videos and stay on YouTube as long as
Stay
possible.
on YouTube.
Stay on YouTube.
That's it.
So if the best option for the next video is your video, great. If not, try to send them to somebody else, because now that might send your viewers to them, yes, but it might also then send their viewers to yours. Because you'll see this, if you pay attention to YouTube, you'll see that you'll see certain videos, and it'll say, this video was watched by viewers from this other channel, right? And so YouTube is looking at that data point and okay, which who has similar audiences? So long answer there.
No, but that is good. I'm really excited that we got that question in, and I'm glad that you were able to answer it thoroughly. And I see a lot of people responding in the chat. Miguel Lloyd says this is really solid content. Thank you guys, and we thank you guys for hanging out with us. So we got one last thing we got to do, Rob. This is the last thing we got to do, and it's on the screen. What collab video? This is the point. So we've had our conversation for the last 50 minutes, and so now it's time to figure out what are we going to collab on. What and you guys in the chat, what do you think that could be? But while you're brainstorming and while you're catching up, I know there's a delay. We'll just kind of hash this out together here, Rob. What do you think? What could we collab on?
Man, I think we talked about it really briefly earlier, but I think that there is a lot to be done in sort of faith-based content, a lot of ministries.
Yes.
There's a lot that a lot of them are ahead of the curve and really figured out YouTube. A lot of them haven't yet, which is understandable. They're not used to being online only. I think there's going to be the certain reality here for a lot of cities, a lot of places, is that some people will go back to in-person services.
They will.
But a lot of people won't. They just won't. They're it's too convenient to be online, or there's just certain reasons. So I think ministries and churches need to sort of grasp this whole video online YouTube stuff. So I think there's something there. I think there's something there, Kirk, that we can kind of jam on.
Oh man, I love that. That I absolutely love that. Now Rick is saying that we should do a rap battle.
I would lose, man.
No. Listen, I think you. If it's not reggae, you will not lose. So, but yeah, no, I absolutely love that. That you even mentioning that is confirmation for me on some things that I am going to be doing. So, this is an area of growth for us. We recognize this. We've been talking to Bishop Donald Oliver last week in the after party. We were on Zoom with Anthony Corns. Anthony Corns was my guest last week, and we were talking about there not really being a lot of content specific to the faith-based community in terms of content creation, in terms of making the digital pivot and how to do a online delivery method of the gospel, which, I don't want to dive in too deep, but I love that. And I'm really excited. I'm going to be reaching out to you this week, Rob, to see when we can put something on the schedule where we can record something. We'll outline it. We'll try to put together some points. Maybe even if we even have enough content, I can put together a document that would be downloadable for people on that video. And again, the point of Convos and Collabs is that it's a conversation that we're having this conversation here, but we want everybody that is with us live and for those who are watching the replay to be able to also consume the collaborative video that is produced out of this partnership. So I'm excited about that, Rob, and I'll be definitely reaching out to you. We could probably even cross post it, put it on both our channels, which would be cool.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's great. I see one last question in there. I know we got 2 minutes left. I wonder if there's if we can get this one last question in. Is there a program to make lower thirds and overlays faster? I don't know of any. Woo. Sorry, man. I mean, the only other thing that I could think of is just grabbing templates. Yes. Lem has been preaching this gospel of like the video, guys. If you're on YouTube, thanks, we appreciate you. We appreciate those likes. Rob, any last words for the audience?
No, man, just a huge thank you, Kirk. Love hanging out with you, man. We should do this definitely more. Looking forward to the collab. Everybody that was live, thanks for hanging out. I mean, this is cool just to read all the comments and see some familiar names.
Absolutely.
So thanks for having me. I mean, I hope you guys are encouraged just to continue creating content. I think one of the things is community. I think that's a big part. Circling back to that, I think that's probably one of the most important things as a creator is really find your community wherever that is. Find your community. It's gonna be some days where your videos just don't pop and things like that, and you need to be able to talk to somebody and just be reassured that hey, it's all good, happens, right? So So I think that's really it. So if there's anything I can help you guys with, reach out to me anytime. I'm super happy to help.
Rob, thank you so much for accepting the invite and just being a wealth of knowledge, sharing your experience and expertise with everybody on the show today. Don't go. I'm going to close things out here, but don't go. So we're going to hang out on Zoom in just a second. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. I want to go back to my slides. We got Katie coming up on the 12th of April, and then we got DJ Strick coming up next week. So we want to make sure you guys are hanging out with us next week, where DJ Strick is going to come, and we're going to be talking about the future of live streaming and some different things that you can do to really level up your live stream. My DJ Strick is out of Birmingham, Alabama, so we got an Alabama collab coming. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, this has been a great episode. I hope that you found value from it. For those that are watching live, those that are watching in the replay, this is what we do here. We try to give people a peek behind the veil, allow them that moment where they see some of the puzzle pieces come together, allow them to have that aha moment, if you will. Essentially, what we hope that happened for you in the video today is that you were able to figure out how it all works. My name is Kirk Nugent again, and I'm excited that you're here with us, and we're hoping that you'll be with us next week or in one of our other programs, Midweek Huddle, Cafe on Friday night, or our produced videos that we put out every weekend. So check out all of those things. And again, if you want to jump in the after live Q&A session, head over to buymeacoffee.com and you can do that right now. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.